Sales might not be what you think it is, and I'm going to explain exactly why using two examples. One example, very low level, and one example, very high level in terms of the value of the product that we're selling. So I was recently having a conversation with somebody close to me, and they said, I don't think I could do what you do because I don't think I'd be good at doing sales. And this got us into a conversation about what sales actually is. And I think there are a lot of people out there who are perhaps misunderstanding exactly what good sales looks like, and therefore talking themselves out of good opportunities. Because I think there's lots of people out there who are these same people that could actually be fantastic salespeople. So, two examples. First of all, I went and bought new ski trousers the other day. These ones, right? And I think that I've got to the bottom of what a lot of people think sales is. I think a lot of people, me included, before I got into this field, thought that sales was about manipulating and tricking people into spending money for stuff that they didn't necessarily want. But if I think about, or if I get you to think about what the sales process looked like for me buying my nice new green skiing trousers, I wasn't just walking down the road and someone shouted to me, hey, you need to buy ski trousers, here's exactly why. It's not how it went, right? First of all, I was in the market for ski trousers. I went into 2 to 3 different shops, and the conversation went something like, hello, what are you looking for? I'm looking for ski trousers. Okay, what's your budget? X number of euros. Right, what do you like in ski trousers? Well, I usually get pretty hot when I'm skiing, so I don't like ones that are too insulated, but I also don't want ones without any insulation at all, because then I'm probably going to get too cold, etc., etc. Okay, well, here are the options. What color do you like? I don't want black ones, it's too boring. Well, look, I've got red and I've got green, and these two match your specifications and they match your budget. Shall I leave you alone to have a think about that for a little while? How long have you been looking for ski trousers? Oh, I've been looking for ski trousers all day. You get the picture, right? Excuse me. And that was the process of me buying ski trousers, right? This is like a 1 to 300 euro purchase, something like that. Very low value, but at no point in that conversation was somebody trying to manipulate me into buying crappy ski trousers for a lot of money, right? It was all about what were my exact needs and how do we fill those needs within the budget that I have access to spend. And there are potentially some ways in there that you could apply a bit more pressure and maybe manipulate or encourage me into spending some more money. But generally speaking, it's just about filling a need. And then the other example I want to give you is at the other end of the spectrum, right? High value in what I actually do for income, for revenue, which is high value remote sales and closing for influencers, KOLs. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a prospect of mine about what they wanted to buy, and they had an idea in their head of the problem that they wanted to solve with the product, and they had an idea about which product in the lineup was going to help them solve that. And me, with my experience of selling this stuff and of solving problems with this stuff, knew that that just wasn't the right thing. And this scenario actually happens fairly often, where the product that isn't the right thing, that's not necessarily going to get the best result, is actually higher value on paper, right? So it's an easier sale for me. It's easier to get the revenue higher, right? To get a higher value sale by pushing them towards higher value products. But if we're thinking about the long game and actually getting good results for the people that we're trying to help, that's not necessarily going to be the best option long term for anyone, because the result might be worse from them buying this higher value on paper product. So if the value is, say, £50,000, or sorry, $50,000, keep it simple, and we could sell 5 units of something expensive, but that's not necessarily going to get the best results because it's not the best fit. I would rather get someone to either spend less money, right, and buy lower value products, or get them to spend the same amount of budget on a higher volume of lower value stuff. And potentially I'm overcomplicating it with that example, but I think you get where I'm coming from, right? It's not about trying to convince someone to just spend as much money as you possibly can by using mental tricks and gymnastics and all that stuff. It's about, okay, what is your problem? What is your budget? Here's how we're going to solve that problem within budget. And that is what good sales is. If you're selling like that, you're going to get a lot of people who are very happy having given you money, and you're going to get a lot of those same people coming back to give you more money in the future so that you can solve more of their problems. That's what sales is. It's about solving problems. It is not about manipulating people into spending money. Hope you found that interesting. Plenty more to come. Catch you in the next one. Bye.